DIY or Die, Walker Vapor Group LLC, or any of its associates do not condone nor encourage the use of nicotine, vapor products, or any mood-altering substances without the explicit consent of a physician. The content viewable on this channel is strictly for entertainment purposes only and not meant to be seen as informational or educational. Must be 21 years or older to view these materials.
Silky beat.
We had a little bit of a technical difficulty in the back end because friction sometimes sucks, but so just kidding. He's great. We're going to take it out of his pay though. The $0 we give him weekly. Anyhow, Emily's not here today. I don't know how to do this intro thing, but here we are. It's the chit chat show. I'm sorry, the review show where the guys tell us what they thought about the recipes we have. And let's go around the room and say hello to everybody. And we also have to introduce our guests. So let's start. How did you guys do today? Hey, Rin, say hi to everybody.
Hi.
Lumi?
Hi.
And for some reason over here, we have somebody that's being on the screen. It says, I don't know if you guys can see it on your end, but it says Alfred Pudding. That's not Alfred Pudding. Can you guys tell who that is?
I mean, he's dead, so I can claim his identity. That's the way these things work. If somebody dies, I can just be them from now on. So I'm Alfred Pudding, creator of notable recipes like 007 Cola and notable mostly for disappearing like a year and a half ago. Hey, guys.
Well, hello.
I'd like to remind you that I am one of the finders of Mr. Alfred Pudding, and no, you're not taking his place. You can fuck right off.
I mean, if he shows up and tells me to stop, I'll stop. How's that?
Okay, deal.
Messing with my emotions because Alfred Pudding is a dear friend of mine.
Tension.
Love it. You never know what to expect on the Mixin Vixens.
Yeah.
And what's going on, Sam?
Not a whole lot. What's up, everybody?
Everybody, I'm doing well.
I'm doing good. I had a lot of fun with this one.
we have Will from Bull City over here.
It's exciting.
He is going to be reviewing our recipes. I don't know if I'm excited or if I'm a little bit nervous. He says he's a little nervous too, right before the show came on.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know like Concrete River was going to be on here and stuff. I was like, oh yeah, it should be fun. And you're like, oh, you got all the pros out here now.
Yeah.
I mean, pro's an overstatement. Let's not get that twisted.
Concrete, have you done any flavor reviews lately? It's been a while since we've seen one of those pop up.
No, I don't do shit. It's pretty great, actually.
Well, if you need some flavors, man, we could get you some flavors to try. That's no problem.
Actually, Drew was nice enough to reach out and he sent me like 10 of the Sabaki aromas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So far I've only busted through the garden mint, but it isn't mentholy, so I'm excited so far. So I got to get through the rest of them.
I seem to like most that I've tried, so they're cool.
Yeah. It's super weird that they just make everything in Poland now, though. Like I don't know what to think about that.
All the good stuff's coming out of Poland, man. It's just the route they got to do now with the, transit and all that.
Well, how do we do this? Anybody have how we usually do the thing? Do we just jump right in? Do we talk about our week? Do we talk about?
Well, I mean, you never really technically. You kind of was like, we got this new guest, but Iso C, aka your name's William. Right? Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? When did you start mixing?
I started mixing like 2011, we'll say, and got really into it back in ECF, and learned from a bunch of people there, and ended up making Mama J's. I don't know if any of you guys heard of Mama J's mixing way back in the day. That was me. Game Over Custard guy. And then Drew scouted me out, brought me up to North Carolina, and here we are.
We are. And I love Game Over Custard. That's one of my
Me
favorites.
too, man.
So wait, when you say Drew scouted you out and brought you up over to North Carolina, can you go into a little bit more detail? Like, what are the chances of him scouting me out and moving me?
You know,
up to
that
North
that is
Carolina?
that I'm very glad that you're doing this, Lumi, because unfortunately it's really hard for me to ask him questions that I already know the answers to. So
Yeah,
I'm
well,
glad
me
that
and
you're
Drew were already
curious, 'cause I'm
friends
not that
since
curious.
way back. Me and Drew were little, bros back in the day. So mixing and all that on, like I said, E-cig, the E-cig forums. I think most of all of us have been kicked off of that by now, but that's where I met Drew, and then kind of just happened from there. He's a super cool dude. So
Funny,
I
that's
don't know.
where I met
Ask him
him
for a
as
job.
well.
He might give you a job, man. What do you bring to the table? That's what he's going to ask you. What do you bring to the table?
All right, Drew, I'm just going to put this out here. You can move me to North Carolina. Hello. I'll come work with you. But how'd you guys enjoy doing our mixes this week? Let's start with the impasta, Alfred pudding.
How did I enjoy it? I enjoyed it. I don't know. I generally enjoy your guys' mixes, and sort of like when I do this, I like to kind of double down on profiles and see everybody's different takes, and it was interesting. I did like 3 of the ice creams, and then I believe I did your almond cake, Lumi. So, yeah.
I couldn't taste anything this week, so I'm sure it was a blast.
It tasted like something, so you got that going for you.
That's a plus. That's a plus. Mr. Pew Pew. Oh, what were you saying?
Oh no, I was gonna ask if we're gonna jump in, but you're going to I Am Sam there, so there we go.
Yeah, I am Sam, Mr. Pew Pew. How'd you enjoy mixing our recipes?
I had a good time with it. I like to pick a different one from each week from each one of you and kind of get all over the place with it. And I think I did yours the last week you were sick, so that'll be fun. Yeah. No, I had fun with it. It's good.
That ought to be fun. She was giving her disclosures the whole time, and you waited till she was like, "Oh, this is terrible. I can't smell anything."
Yeah. No, I had a lot of fun with it, like always.
That's great. That's great. Iso C. William, what do you want us to call you? Iso C.
You could just call me Will. See, Iso C is my son's little Zoom thing. I don't even know how to get on Zoom, so I had to ask them. Like, hey, I got this Zoom thing tonight. So you could just call me Will.
Okay, Will. What was it like navigating the muddy waters of being the judge? Like, what was this process to you?
Well, I pretty much played by the rules, I think. We'll get to all that later. But no, it was cool, man, to look through everybody's recipes and, just how it's always been, see how everybody else kind of perceives a recipe and think, well, what would I have done differently? Or did they nail it? You know what I mean? It was fun. It was cool. A lot of pressure, man. A lot of pressure.
Did you have all these flavors or did you ransack the stash at Bull City?
I've got like 600, 700, 800 flavors or something. And I still had to go ransack the stash at Bull City.
It's got to be nice instead of being like, oh, I got to order something. Oh, I'm just going to go to work.
Yeah, shipping times are crazy, dude. Like I'll put in an order and boom, 15 minutes later, it's on my desk.
Yeah, because you still have to put in the order so that it goes out of the inventory and it.
Yeah. Yeah. No FedEx though, or nothing like that.
Yeah, that's like super flash speed right there.
All right. Well, I'm going to avoid the whole hat process because Emily's not here. So I'll just get it out of the way. I'm going to go in the same order from where we started for judge-wise, except I'm just going to pick people at random. We're going to start with me. Concrete. What recipe did you do by me?
Looks like you put him on the spot, and he can't find his unmute button somehow.
No, I was just putting the fucking recipe in the goddamn chat so Frisch can put it up on the screen, okay? Off my ass here. start this off very poorly. Everything was garbage, and I hate you all. Goodbye.
Chirp, chirp,
No.
chirp.
Um, so I did Lumi's almond cake, as previously mentioned. I love your percentages. I really do, and I exactingly follow them, mixing 10 milliliters of these. Had 0.88% almond cookie by Wonder Flavors, 0.99%, which is markedly different than 1% of classic sponge cake by Mullenberry. 0.62% of cream milky undertone by One on One, 0.66% of pound cake by Flavora, 1.56% vanilla custard cheesecake by One on One, and 0.62% of whipped cream by One on One. So you said you couldn't taste anything. What were you going for here?
A cake, like a nice yellowish pound cake with like a light almond note. Maybe it's in the frosting, maybe it's in the cake. I don't know. I was just trying to make an almond cake with frosting. Whether that almond is in the frosting or the cake, I don't care. As long as it was in there, I'm happy.
Well, I liked the recipe. I thought it was pretty well built, starting with like the sponge cake and the pound cake. I haven't tried the sponge cake by itself. Does that one actually have a lot of texture to it?
I don't single flavor test anything, so maybe it tasted like it did. It definitely tasted like it did.
So I know Flavora's pound cake, like my big bitch about that is it doesn't have too much texture, but between, I guess, the sponge cake and the almond cookie, it managed to actually bring in like a pretty solid texture. I didn't get a ton of like frosting to this. I mean, the vanilla custard cheesecake, the whipped cream, the milky undertone, like it definitely has some kind of cream component. It didn't really feel like a actual, like, I would think like confectioner sugar kind of glaze frosting, which you get in an almond cake. I mean, there was something creamy. It just didn't really come together into necessarily a frosting. But I mean, it tasted fine, and it didn't make like the cake base too soft. So there's still like a good textural component there. I think my biggest thing would be I didn't get a whole lot of almond out of it. Like there's some almond in the almond cookie, but I feel like it just maybe needed something a little bit nuttier. Like it almost gets washed out to almost like a marzipan kind of vibe, where really I think you'd benefit from something like maybe even just adding like some something, either acetylpyrazine or something higher in acetylpyrazine to kind of like pop like the nuttier part of it. But yeah, for not being able to taste anything, it's a very good recipe.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I am Sam. What did you mix?
Your tiramisu.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. So you did, I think, 0.73 Wonder Flavor Angel Cake, 1.23 Coffee Milk Froth Vape Train, 1.88 Graham Cracker Flavora, and 1.14 SSA's Tiramisu. That SSA Tiramisu is really good. It was very coffee forward. It was a really good coffee note that it had, though. I lost the bottle. I think it's in my car. I haven't vaped it for a couple of days, but from what I remember, it had a good amount of cinnamon in it too, I believe. Somewhat cakey, surprisingly, with the angel cake used low, but the graham cracker, it was good. It was a really good vape.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Jason.
I'm sorry, can I loop back on this?
Yeah.
Since you don't single flavor test anything, I could see how you would totally use that coffee milk froth. Like, has anybody else single tested that coffee milk froth?
Mm-mm.
I have.
Not as a single. No.
It tastes like coffee
I
breath.
don't remember.
It tastes like what?
Like coffee breath.
Gross.
Yeah.
It does, but that's because of the milk. I mean, it's like drinking coffee and cream. You know what I mean? It does have a very mild coffee and a very whipped type cream taste, but that doesn't have vanilla notes in it. So I guess you could describe it as coffee breath.
Yeah, it's like coffee breath in a bottle. I just think it's the weirdest flavor, and I'm glad somebody found a use for it.
The coffee note,
but
the
in
coffee
a
note in the
recipe,
tiramisu is definitely going to hide any of those off notes that you would get from that because it's a strong enough coffee in that tiramisu flavoring.
and in a coffee vape, it's just going to add some body.
Yeah.
It's going to blend in. It's not a flavorful enough flavor, but it's got a lot of body. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah,
So
like,
coffee breath means that you've already drank the coffee and the only thing left is like the remnants of it.
yeah,
See,
like,
I actually really like that flavor for kind of like a super light, actual like cream with a light note of coffee to it.
Yeah, kind of use it a lot too. Just different coffee vapes.
Yeah, I don't single flavor mix. I just mix it with some things that I've already tasted and that I kind of like know what it's going to taste like. So when it adds something to it, I'm like, there you go. But this week I couldn't taste shit. I just knew I liked it.
I single flavor tested it because I wanted to know how much coffee was in it, and there wasn't very much, and it was very milky. And I did not find that it was a coffee. It was more like milk froth with some coffee aspect.
yeah, I mean, I don't think it's bad or anything. Like, I wasn't trying to shit on it. I just think it's the weirdest flavor in the world if you vape it solo because it does taste exactly like coffee breath.
So many flavors that are the weirdest flavors in the world when you vape them solo.
Columbus bread.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing till the other day. I was like, I love Flavora for that.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't gotten it yet, but I'm going to have to now.
All right. Jason took off his mask. He's back as well. Which recipe did you mix?
Of yours, this is where I went off track. I don't think I picked one from the range I was supposed to. I kind of took off, checking out different recipes, and I was like, oh, this one looks good. But anyway, so we're gonna do it. I did your pudding and things recipe. It had the boys.
Wait a minute. You watch the show every Monday while you're working. You should know.
This one just sounded so good.
Okay.
I don't get paid, so.
Like, I can break the
You got to
rules.
deal with it. You got to deal with it, man. That's what you get.
I'm only going to be on there once. Fuck.
But yeah, so it had Wonder Flavors, boysenberry, raspberry, the crispy wafer, Wonder Flavors, raspberry Inawera, vanilla pudding Flavora, and the wild berry cobbler by Flavors West. I really liked it. I thought that, the raspberry should have been pumped up a little bit on them, and, maybe that Flavora touched down a little bit. But no, I thought it was really good. My wife really enjoyed that one too. That was her favorite out of the four that we did. I would have just liked to have a little more, fruity, but I thought it was awesome. All you guys did awesome jobs, man. I thought.
All right. I could actually taste during that recipe, and I quite enjoyed it. I'm a sensitive fruit taster, though. So for me, where I had those fruit flavors at, it was...
Yeah. But no, they were really good, man. I'm not as descriptive as all you guys are, so that's my review in a nutshell. 2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up.
2?
If you had 4, would you put 4 thumbs up?
Yeah, probably. Or
2 out of 5 thumbs.
What is this 2 out of? Like 2 out of 10? You giving it a 2 out of 10?
Well, I have 2 thumbs. You want me to count fingers too?
I
That kind
don't
of
know.
changes a lot of stuff. So,
Yeah,
and then
2
I
out of
wasn't really sure because I wasn't told there were going to be questions, so I don't know how to. I didn't study or anything.
Yeah. Oh, the challenges of having a guest and not explaining the rules. My bad.
It's fine. It's actually cool that he did this recipe, and maybe like we'll all go back and like remix the recipes that Will decided to do, because I completely forgot about this and I remember liking it, so I'll go back and remix it.
Yeah.
Caught my eye right away. It's good.
So we got it. Who's next? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a slut by the toe. JuiceFairy!
There, thanks. I
My
kind of
God.
figured that was, when you said catch a slut by the toe, I was like, she's gonna pick me.
So,
Jeez.
Alfred Pudding.
Yes, that is absolutely my name. Let's see. So, like I said, I did a bunch of ice creams. I have the JuiceFairy's blue sherbet recipe.
Yes.
Yeah,
Love that
I got
one.
that one queued up. Did you want to walk me through the recipe, Jennifer?
Can somebody put it up so that I can see it? I don't have
There,
it.
I'll read
Oh,
it.
there
I got
it
it
is.
up.
I see it. I see it. I see it.
Okay.
He put it up because he's awesome. Let's see. Okay, so pretty much I decided to do a homemade version of a sherbet. So I combined blueberry with other crushed natural blueberries. I used a heavier cream base, kind of like what you would do if you were doing it at home, and some ice cream. I used Polar Blast for a light chill, but it's not really mentally. It's just a little bit of chill because it's supposed to be a sherbet. I used MTS Vape Wizard to smooth it out around the edges and to make it one cohesive flavor and give it a little bit more mouthfeel. That's about it. I used a sherbet TPA sherbet just because I had that flavor around and I hadn't used it in a while, and I remembered it having enough citrus in it that it's actually probably the strongest note in there is a sherbet, and I build everything around that. So the citrus in the sherbet is there, and then I added the candied blueberries to give it a blueberry note.
Yeah, I liked this one. Again, it's like a little bit more on the complex side in terms of how you built up the recipe, but you always know what you're doing with that crap. So there's like 10 flavors, 11 flavors or something, but it's all kind of working in the same direction, which was nice. I really like your ice cream base when you add Vienna cream into it. Vienna cream obviously needs to steep a little bit, but that is such a cool flavor when it has some time to sit down. So after a week, I really liked just even that 0.5% of Vienna cream was making everything substantially thicker, which was nice. I see lots of people using Flavor West Blueberry at 2%. And to those people, I want to say, get the fuck out of here. That's garbage. You're garbage. I hate you. You have it up at 7%. And honestly, I still don't get too much Flavor West Blueberry. It's a great flavor. And I like the fact that you're not scared to use it that ridiculously high. So
I had people that were like, whoa, 7%. But when you're making a sherbet and you're combining it with a citrus as strong as TFA sherbet, and to me, remember, keep in mind that I am extremely sensitive to citric notes. So to me, that flavor is like, squealing at me, and I needed to drown it out with a blueberry.
squealing.
Squealing.
Yeah, no, and it's good too because like if you're going for a sherbet, like no sherbet has ever tasted like actual fruit. So like that good like candied blueberry note is really nice, and then you reinforce it with some of that new FA blueberry, which is pretty good. And yeah, I wasn't quite sure about the TBA Rainbow Sherbet, but now that you're like explaining it, yeah, that makes a lot of sense that it's adding some of like the more citrusy kind of pop notes in there. I did mix it with some Polar Blast. I was not about to get 0.1% of it. I put in a drop in 10 milliliters. So it still worked out well though. Like I still think that's one of the only cooling agents that doesn't completely suck with creams. So I appreciated that. I liked the fact that you just said, fuck it, let's add sweetener right off the bat. Like that. So yeah, I get like a nice solid cream, and the fruit flavor is artificial, but in a good way. And the citrusy thing kind of rounds everything out. And all in all, it's just a really good recipe for a very blue sherbet.
Cool.
Yeah. But let us sit for a week because that Vienna cream tastes like nail polish for a while.
Not just the Vienna cream, but I think that that the rainbow sherbet also needs some time to cool down, and the MTS Vape Wizard needs to round it out. So I wanted it to be cohesive, and the MTS Vape Wizard needs a little bit of steep. The Vienna Cream needs steep, and for the edges to calm down on the TFA, it needs to sit in that Vienna Cream and in that MTS for a couple days.
I think, yeah, and like I don't have a real complaint about the way that the recipe was sort of structured, but the one thing I did find myself kind of wondering about after mixing it, letting it sit, is like what would happen if you swapped out that MTS for something like TPA's Dragon Fruit that has like the triethyl citrate in it that does the same kind of softening.
I would have used Smooth rather than TFA Dragon Fruit. I am one of the weirdos that TFA Dragon Fruit gives me tremendous throat hit.
Okay, well then you're wrong, and I'm sorry I asked.
I mean, it just is, you know. I can't even understand what in it could be giving me that throat hit, because it just happened all of a sudden, and then after it happened that once, that was it. I've never been able to use it again.
Well, I mean, overall great recipe though.
So Smooth, if you don't have that, use Smooth, and I'm sure that Dragon Fruit will work for you if you don't get the throat hit. That's it.
I actually got to try that juice hand delivered by Jennifer down at Bull City Flavors like a month ago.
Did I bring it to you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I brought all my samples. Anything I had on my desk, when I went to pick up something there, I just went and dropped it off with them. I was like, here.
Best, yeah. There's all kinds of free juice every time.
You know, it's worth it to mix a JuiceFairy recipe, but if it's probably better to have it dropped off, because that is a lot of ingredients.
Absolutely. I know. And let me tell you, I've had this conversation with Drew. I've made 2 mixes that he really enjoys. And he's asked me for the recipe, and the recipe sits there for a month. And then I've given him, you know, let's say a 120, and he's like, oh man, I'm almost out. Can you send me that recipe again? And then I'm a week later, you know, and I'm placing my order. I'm like, hey, did you ever mix it? He goes, no, I haven't had time. I've got it hidden in my desk so that nobody else in the office can vape it. And I'm like, don't be mean. And then I'll bring him another one. He said, like, why should we have to mix when we've got you here in North Carolina?
I feel like we need to move me down there so I could become a part of this little commune situation that you guys have going on. I feel like I'd have a lot of fun doing
family,
this.
Yeah.
All right, Drew, move me down. I got this.
All right, Sam, what did you mix?
I mixed the same one.
Oh God, let's hear it.
So I have a confession I need to make. I was halfway through mixing this bottle when I realized I didn't have TPA's Rainbow Sherbet.
So what did you use instead?
Liquid Barn's Rainbow Sherbet.
It works just as fine.
I'm getting all the exact same things that he just said. The citrus notes. It's mostly a sherbet with the candy blueberries. And same as he said, it's not like at 7% Flavor West doesn't overwhelm anything. And it's creamy. It's got that good. I did do 0.1% of the Polar Blast, and it's not doing anything for me. I made a 30 ml of it so I could do that. I would have to pump it up if I wanted it a little bit. Even I think it's just keeping it from being too warm of a vape, honestly, like you probably wanted to do. Yes, definitely give it a steep. I got it sitting at 2 weeks right now, and it's really good.
I actually think that Liquid Barn is better than TFA. The only reason I use TFA is because I was trying to use that flavor. I know how to use the Liquid Barn one, and it's easy for me. So I was challenging myself with the TFA.
Yeah, I hate it when I do that halfway through the mix. I'm like, shit.
That's a very comparable replacement.
I use it at the exact same percentage at 3.5 or whatever, and it's I'm getting everything for like Pudding was saying as well.
Oh, so he's concrete pudding now.
Concrete pudding. That's it. Yeah.
I've absorbed all of the characteristics of my many enemies that have fallen before me. So yes, that is accurate.
Alfred Concrete Pudding River. Yeah, no, it was very good. Definitely give it a steep. first time I've ever used the MTS Vape Wizard. I ordered it for this. At first, I think after I tried it, it tasted a little muted initially, but I don't know if that's just me. That might just be me and blueberries too. I'm finding out.
No, MTS Vape Wizard will do that. Definitely will. It will saturate a recipe, and it's dark and it's deep, so it'll even give you some earthy notes until it actually blends it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not. It's full flavored and really good right now. So, very good. 5 thumbs up.
Nice. I'm glad you had fun mixing this. So since Jason, aka Will, went off track, JuiceFairy, get ready to search for your recipe so Friction can pull it up. Will, what recipe did you make from Little Miss JuiceFairy over here?
I made the butterscotch cake.
You only went off track for yours, Lumi.
Yeah, just on yours, you know.
Butterscotch cake. I was gonna say, isn't that inside our week?
Yeah, just Lumi's went off track, you know. But so yeah, it had Wonder Flavors buttercream frosting, Flavor West butterscotch, Flavor Art cookie, Flavor West creamy sponge cake, Wonder Flavors crispy wafers, and TFA Irish cream and Flavor Art meringue. I thought it was pretty good. The the cake part was really good in there. I was kind of hoping for just a little bit more butterscotch to come out on it. But as it sit for the last few days or so too, that butterscotch is starting to poke its head through there just a little bit. It was a toss-up between this one and another one for my favorite of the 4 that I made.
I would say that's probably because I don't like Flavor West butterscotch. Notoriously is best used at 7%, right? And I used it at 3%, but it's very dappy, and I can't use it as high as normal people, which is why I add the Irish cream that gives it some added depth to it.
Now that Irish cream was a pretty good touch there. I always like to add different Irish cream when I can.
You what?
No, I said I like using the Irish cream too, you know.
Yeah. And I use that Irish cream for that butterscotch to avoid having to use the butterscotch at its maximum peak, because to me, I just can't. It's too thick for me. And I don't like vaping that. I don't know how I vape your game over custard as much as I do, because that thing is thick too, but it's thick and dark, where butterscotch is, it's just too much for me.
But no, this one was super good too. Drew actually favored this one out of the 4. I shared it with a bunch of different people, you know.
Oh, you cheated. You were trying to get their opinions.
I got lots of opinions on these, yeah. But so yeah, no, this one was super good too. It was a little much for me, a little bit all in all. I might have taken it, 7%, but I think it was in the Rich AF show, wasn't it? Maybe. So that's kind of the point, right? But
right.
No, heck yeah. However many thumbs are the most thumbs we score on Mixin Vixens. That's what this one gets.
Okay, got it. All right. I think we're done reviewing mine. There's
next is Rin.
Mm-hmm. And we're gonna hit. Emily's not here today, but we're still gonna hit her recipes.
Good.
Oh, we're gonna rip apart Emily's recipe.
Yeah, good, because I already had to buy flavors and everything, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Okay. So, concrete pudding.
Yes. So as always, Rin has very evocative recipe titles, and I mixed her mermaid ice cream. It doesn't taste like actual mermaids, which means that I give it a 0 stars. Let's move on.
Next. How do you know what mermaids taste like?
I would assume.
I was a commercial fisherman for many years and had some very strange dalliances in the middle of the ocean. It gets weird out there. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Good to know.
So it has 0.25% of 1-on-1's blue raspberry candy, 0.5% of 1-on-1 marshmallow vanilla, 0.25% vape train shisha lime, 0.5% shisha raspberry vape train, and 2% vape train vanilla ice cream. And because I, as always, am a Philistine and I have Rin's permission, I did in fact double everything. So what were you going for with this one?
I'm reading because I don't remember. I think I was just looking for a sherbet, like just like a blue raspberry for the blue, red raspberry for the pink color, and then lime for the green with an ice cream base. Because the actual picture is literally just vanilla ice cream with food coloring in it. And I'm not gonna just mix a vanilla ice cream. That's lame. So I went color inspired. So I just mixed by color. So blue raspberry, and lime.
I like this one quite a bit. I like the fact that you used the vape train vanilla ice cream. I do like that ice cream quite a bit, and it's not as like crushingly heavy as like Liquid Barn's ice cream or TPA's ice cream to me. Like it feels more like an actual ice cream to me rather than like some sort of weird peppery custardy like nightmare, which I appreciate. The little bit of marshmallow in there, I'm assuming just kind of like bulked up the ice cream without making it richer, so it had like more of like that sherbety kind of texture. So the base for like a sherbet style ice cream was like great. The blue raspberry candy and the shisha raspberry, maybe just a little bit indistinct. I want to say like it definitely tasted of raspberries, and I think the blue raspberry, even at 0.5%, was maybe just like generic fruity as opposed to like a clear flavor, but it did just kind of bolster the raspberry, which I liked quite a bit. And that blue raspberry candy is a pretty great flavor. My favorite part of the recipe, though, as always, is when somebody adds lime to something. So I really liked the addition of lime. It doesn't clash with the creamier base. It really makes the raspberry more interesting. So it's kind of like a raspberry lime sherbet, and I dug that. I dug that quite a bit.
Cool.
Yeah, good mouthfeel with that. Like it didn't taste like black pepper. It wasn't too heavy. It wasn't too eggy. It tasted like a raspberry lime sherbet, and I'm into that. So it's great. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm a pepper taster, so anything in that realm I wouldn't use anyway.
It has like more of an ice cream vibe than just using like straight up vanilla swirl or like Flavor Arts vanilla gelato or whatever the hell they ended up naming that. But yeah, I dug it.
Thanks. What'd you mix, Sam? Since you want to roast me.
No, I mixed your banana pudding cake. You did. I didn't double your percentages and mixed it as was. You did 4% TPA banana nut bread, 0.5% Inawera biscuit, 0.75 Wonder Flavors butterscotch cream pie, 1.25 Wonder Flavors fluffy white cake, Wonder Flavors, and 0.75 Wonder Flavors Philadelphia butter cake. I wouldn't say I got anything resembling pudding out of it, but it was a really good like banana, like a moist banana cake. The butterscotch cream pie did a good job at darkening adding that little bit of dark richness to it. Yours is one of the other bottles that I can't find. I think I left that in the car too, so I haven't vaped it. But I actually did really enjoy yours a lot. It had that banana nut bread is such a good flavor. Just got a huge bottle of it because it's so good. And it's another 4%. You really get a lot of the banana from it, and then the biscuit and the fluffy white cake really laid down really nice, added to the cakiness, I think, of the bread, the banana nut bread, and then just the Philadelphia butter cake added some of that moistness to it. So like I said, it wasn't really a pudding. Maybe I wouldn't necessarily even say it was a pudding cake, but like a nice rich banana bread cake is good. I liked it.
Yeah, I named it that, and maybe I need to rename it because it was meant to be a banana pudding inspired cake.
Gotcha.
Because when I look at that that cake picture, I see banana pudding because it's got the vanilla wafers on it. It's got like the yellow banana flavor thing going on. So that's
Right, but
not meant to be-
it's a cake.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it was good. 3 stars.
Whatever. Stars don't mean anything, Sam.
Yeah.
Don't mean
No
anything.
stars. Don't
Three-
give her 3 stars. Just give her
3
thumbs.
thumbs. 3 thumbs.
It's more than you've got, so that's good. You've only got 2 thumbs. If she's got
Okay.
3, if she's getting 3 out of you, then she's doing
Hey.
great.
Aren't the big toes on your feet considered like thumbs ish?
Yeah, but where's 5th? I don't want to get into that.
It depends. If you can hold a pencil and write with it, then it's a thumb. If
You know,
can't,
sometimes they do, if you lose your thumb, they'll transplant your thumb from your toe onto your hand. So it will.
What do they do about your missing toe thumb? Your thumb toe then?
You're just going to have to work on rebalancing yourself.
I'd just rather go thumbless.
So,
Get a wet willy from that guy.
Will, aka Jason, what did you mix?
So I also did Ren's banana pudding cake. I also didn't get the pudding vibe, but it was my favorite out of all of them. Kind of echoed, what Sam said about, the moist, cakey, kind of more of a banana bread, banana cake. But it was my favorite, man. I've got it in my tank right now. I've been vaping it for 2 or 3 days. I wouldn't change nothing about it. My favorite.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for banana bread, though. TFA, it's so awesome.
So,
Very good.
I'm also just a wee bit curious. Why'd you mix everybody's monthly submissions except for mine?
Because that, like I said, that one caught my eye. It just looked so good. I was going through like it was either
I got
all
a
the
theory. I got a
flavors-
theory. I got a
Well,
theory.
What's your theory?
His wife looked at it and said, "I want you to mix that," and he was like,
Loves
all
those
right.
too. Yeah. But no, because I like the red berries, the darker, blueberries. You got to talk about Flavor West blueberry. That's one of my all-time favorite flavors almost. But yeah, so I was just browsing through and that one just caught my eye the most. And I said, forget the rules, man. I'm making this one. Looks delicious, and it was.
So,
But so yeah, the banana cake, man, was really good.
I might have to mix that. Rin is notorious for her banana pudding recipes. So, I'm definitely going to have to mix that. I think next we have Emily. So, Alfred River. Which recipe did you make of Emily's?
I thought it was concrete pudding.
It's both. It's great.
It's whatever you want it to be, baby. Let's see. I did her rainbow ice cream because I did a lot of ice creams. And her rainbow ice cream recipe involved 1.5% of Vape Train's Bilberry Ripe, 1% of Jungle Flavors Blueberry, 1% of Inawera Lemon's Kick, 3% of Cap Strawberry Taffy, and 3% of Cap Vanilla Whipped Cream. Since Emily's not here, I will just say that she did in fact submit a recipe, and we should move on. No, I mean it was good. I love Cap Vanilla Whipped Cream. I don't know if it was quite the right texture for an actual sherbet base, but it's also not far off. And like, if you told somebody that it was a sherbet base and like they weren't looking at the recipe, I doubt they'd have some big reason to argue about it. The Jungle Flavors Blueberry and the Vape Train Bilberry Ripe worked out. It's maybe a little bit dark for what you'd want for like a sherbet. Like usually those are like just over the top candy flavors. So maybe it was a little bit too musty, not necessarily in like a bad way, but just sort of a clash for like that sherbet kind of profile. The Inawera Lemon's Kick is a very strong lemon, and it's not a bad lemon whatsoever. It does brighten up the blueberry a little bit, but it doesn't necessarily like bridge into a brighter blueberry flavor. Instead, it kind of tastes like a dark blueberry with some lemon. So it didn't quite come together in the middle. And then the cap strawberry taffy, I didn't get much in the way of strawberry from it, but I probably was never going to get much in the way of strawberry from it. I don't get a lot of strawberry out of most of the Cabela strawberries. But it certainly didn't take away from it anything, and it helped a little bit in the texture. So I think it was interesting. It didn't quite come together 100% for me, but yeah, it was interesting. And if you told somebody it was a rainbow sherbet, they would believe you. So,
is there any strawberry that you do taste?
I can taste the Flavora Alpine strawberry, which I'm not the hugest fan of. Flavora's Jammy Berry, I get a pretty good strawberry out of that. If I turn strawberry way the fuck up with like normal strawberries, like Cap Sweet Strawberry or whatever, like I can taste that for about 3 minutes and then it disappears completely. But again, I was just going off the ingredients that I had, trying not to order anything for recipes. So, yeah, I mean, it's good. It's good. It just maybe doesn't, this for me just wasn't quite as well executed as the other like nightmare Technicolor ice cream recipes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Good job at roasting her when she's not here.
I know,
it's Canadian Thanksgiving, so that's why she's not here.
I am a coward, and I would never say that to her face. Please don't hurt me, Emily.
She'll watch it. Who's next?
I did her almond pound cake.
Let's hear about it.
mlNikon's almond pound cake. Yeah, 2% Wonder Flavors almond cookie, 2% Flavor West yellow cake, 2% Wonder Flavors Philadelphia butter cake, 1.5 cap toasted almond, 1% Wonder Flavors vanilla cream extra, and 2% vanilla custard cheesecake, 1-on-1. It was really good. After I think after about, that's when I mixed it, a week and a half, I could have used a little bit more almond, I think. But it does come through a lot stronger at first, obviously. But it's really good, deep textured, creamy, like moist cake, for sure.
Maybe she was going for the little shivers of almond that the cake has on the top instead of it being in the cake.
Probably, I know one of the almond cookie and Wonder Flavors isn't the strongest almond, and then I haven't played a lot. Well, I had to order caps for this one as well. I've only had TPAs, but yeah, it was really good. I don't really have anything bad to say about it. Really dark, rich cake, like a pound cake, I guess. Not dry at all. It was moist, thick, good mouthfeel. A little bit of almond. I liked it a lot. Yeah.
Good deal. Good deal. How about you, Will? What did you mix?
So I did Emily's pound cake too. So I think next time I'm just going to stay on track because, you know, Sam just goes ahead and explains the recipe for everybody before I go. It's kind of working out for me. So maybe we could work something out for another show sometime. But no, so Emily's pound cake, I agree. You know, if you're looking for more almond flavor, those need to be turned up. I kind of like how they're just kind of stashed in there where it kind of just makes it more of a pound cake kind of thing. I thought this one, to me, was the most useful out of all the recipes that I made. Useful meaning what I would probably do with this is make it like a one shot or whatever and use it as a base to build different pound cake, you know, strawberries or lemons or something like that, or try and ice the pound cake. I thought it was just a really good like pound cake. It was pound cake. That's exactly what it was.
There was a good little bit of vanilla icing on there, just a smidge, but yeah.
But yeah, so I would like maybe take that, mix it up into a concentrate, use it at like 5 or 6% with some strawberry or something, or, you know, it was really useful and really, really good. So I thought
you're giving me ideas because I'd love the mixture of almond, a little bit of almond in a strawberry cakey mix. So that's a good idea.
That's straight where I went with it, man. I was like, this is the perfect building spot for something. But
Emily's kind of known for that.
Very rich, 10.5% is kind of a bit much. And then, like you mentioned earlier, the game over thing, it's so high up there, right? But I usually stick on, lower flavoring. So alone, it was a bit much for me, but yeah, I already thought of all kinds of stuff you could use it for. So it was cool. Really good. Really good.
Cool. Good to know. Good to know. Well, we've gone around the room and around the world 50 days, right? Is that something?
Wait a minute. So go ahead and start just talking over me if I'm wrong here, but I believe I saw in chat somewhere that you guys mixed Sam's recipe?
No.
I did, yes.
Oh, let's start grilling Sam.
Yes.
So I'm pretty sure the only one of his I had all the flavors for was the Ultimate Smash Pie. Ironically, the same profile he picked for me, which was the banana cake thingy. I did have his percentage because I figured I would need to. So I used 1% banana custard by Vape Train, 0.67% banana puree by Wonder Flavors, 0.33 Flavora Caramel, 0.67 Flavor Art Cookie, 0.5% one-on-one pie crust, 0.5% Flavora pudding, and 0.5% one-on-one whipped cream. I mixed it some time ago. It's like a week or two ago. Mainly what I get from it is butterscotch for some reason, maybe from the caramel and the buttery elements of it. Maybe the cookie, I'm not sure. I mean, it's good, but I'd like more banana from it. I'm not a huge fan of the banana custard by Vape Train, personally. But it's not bad.
Thanks, Fran.
1 point, though.
Well, go ahead and add 2 or 3 on there for decking my percentages down by a third.
All right. And
Just
I
thank you.
found I had enough ingredients to make one too.
Uh-oh. Yay.
I made the bubblegum ice cream.
Oh.
That was the only one I had all the ingredients for as well. So I was looking, I had to look at all of them. There were other ones I wanted to make, but I didn't have all the stuff for it. And
That was an interesting one. Okay. Go.
Can you believe with this many flavors, I'm still missing flavors?
Yeah.
What is wrong? So it was he makes American bubblegum at 2% and LA bubblegum at 3%. That's 5% total bubblegum. Mind you, I'm not a fan of any bubblegum whatsoever, but I'll continue. I was scared of mixing this with you.
Mixed it, yeah.
Meringue FA at 2%, milk FA at 0.75%, Oba Oba at 2%, super sweet cap 0.50, and vanilla ice cream liquid bar. So as far as an ice cream, it's an ice cream for sure. It's got a little bit of powdery notes. So what I ended up getting out of it was, those bubble gums that are square that have the little bit of white that you rip off the outside of it. It's not Hubba Bubba. It's those little square hard gums that you chew that are a little bit powdery on the outside, and then they
like
turn
the baseball card packs, the little.
No,
they come like with a little twisted on either end.
Yeah,
oh
that.
Yeah.
Either that or those square ones that had the little cartoon cartoon thingy on the outside. So it took me really old. When I vaped it, it took me way back to my childhood, which is a long ass time ago. I've not seen those in a long time. The meringue at 2%, I feel like took away a little bit of the cream and dried it out a little bit. But the Liquid Barn ice cream at 4% is so thick and creamy. And then you added the milk from FA, which I find milk from FA is wonderful. But I've already disclosed that affects me. Yeah. And milk at FA at 0.75% is a lot of freaking milk. A lot. So it's a good recipe. If you like a really good thick mouthfeel, it's definitely bubblegum heavy. It's definitely got the powdery sugar of a bubble gum. It's the Oba Oba gives it a candied shell. It kind of, I think it rounded out the edges and kind of combined the bubble gum with the vanilla ice cream, and it definitely needed that super sweet. It was this very sweet candy like ice cream that totally can pull it off as a bubblegum type ice cream. It was weird because I've never had a bubblegum ice cream, so I was like weirded out by it, but it was pleasant, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Yeah. No, thank you. That's, yeah. Pinpointed the notes really good there.
that was
It was a
what I
weird
got.
one. It was a weird one to mess around with. It was like creamy vanilla bubblegum. I don't know.
It was weird, but it wasn't bad weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you. You got it to work somehow, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it didn't work. It was, I can appreciate a recipe even if it's something that I wouldn't personally vape too often because it was very heavy. It was thick, heavy,
Yeah.
full
No, I'm not
mouthfeel,
scared of
a
death.
lot of bubble gum, and I don't even like bubble gum. I was really hating myself for not having all the ingredients to something else because when I saw the bubble gum, I was like, oh man, I got to mix bubble gum. But it worked. It worked. You creamed it down enough that it was. I was like, wow, this is what an ice cream with a bubble gum ice cream would taste like. This is weird, but
Yeah.
it's good.
Oh, thank you. Okay. No, that was a good verified one to do too.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
wasn't that
thank you.
bad. It wasn't. It actually wasn't that bad. You had 7 ingredients in it, so it wasn't like a 10 plus. You know, I was also appreciative of that because I've seen some of your recipes are longer than mine.
I try to not do that. Yeah, I've been working really hard at that for the last year and a half or so. Some of my early ones are.
Also, I'm sensitive to flavors where you're
Yeah.
fairly new to mixing, and that sensitivity shit will come later.
Yeah.
Unless you're like concrete pudding over there and just, get muggled where you can't taste shit still, so you have to dump a bunch of flavorings into stuff.
I just get dumber as I go on. It's great. I love that.
Doesn't retain. Fun. Well, thank you. Thank you, ladies.
You're welcome.
Right. Do I have to do the whole Emily outro now too?
Yeah, you volunteered for this.
Yeah, how else are we supposed to leave?
All right, guys. Thank you all so much for coming and being the judges here. We really like that. I don't really know what she says on the judging shows.
She just thanks them all. Thank you. We appreciate it. We really need you guys, or we wouldn't have a judging show.
Yeah.
I hear that Concrete Pudding over there won't be with us a couple of judging shows ahead because he's moving, but we'll fill that seat somehow, even if we have to make some of the audience mixes, but we'll figure it out. And Will said he'll volunteer to come back, right, Will?
Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't
Sounds
do
fun.
that.
We'll do it.
I don't know how you'll ever replace me. I'm just saying. Yeah,
We can't replace you. We do want you back. So you're on a short-term maternity leave.
Yeah, that's it. No, I'm just saying if I have to move, the first thing that's getting packed up is this goddamn room, and we'll be lucky if it gets unpacked in 6 months. So
Man, I just went through that a couple years ago, moving to North Carolina.
yeah.
It still hasn't got unpacked, bro.
Okay. I'm trying to be optimistic and assuming that I will A, have the space, and B, have the motivation to unpack it at some point. I may just throw out half my flavors because honestly, I vape mint like 98% of the time at this point.
Well,
Saran
you
wrap,
can't because
just
you're a
saran
Dutch.
wrap everything, and then move it as is.
If we really want to push you, what we could do is send you the recipes done so that we can still have you here because we really enjoy having you on our show. So just let us know.
That would work, and B, I am very sorry that you enjoy having me around that much. That
it's only once every 6 weeks. So yeah, we like the controversy. So yeah, we want you.
All right, in Emily fashion, I'm gonna pull this back together. Friction, can you put up the picture for next week's picture? Picture for next week's picture.
Picture for next week's picture.
Yep.
Friction.
We're gonna start paying him negative dollars. He's gonna have to start paying us. He's gonna have to start.
Bullshit, Friction.
Oh yeah, I was looking at the Zoom chat.
Okay, so this looks like some kind of a tasty pumpkin caramel cheesecake. Go for it. What do you guys see? Huh?
See nothing.
Oh, okay. They see nothing.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. Yeah. Caramel drizzle. Cheesecake
Pumpkin.
of sorts. It
Yeah.
could be the lighting. It could be pumpkin. It could be the lighting.
Could be peanut butter. It could be
Could be-
anything.
ooh,
Use your imaginations.
nice
All
thing.
right. Let's thank our sponsors and get the heck on out of here. First and foremost, thank you, DIY or Die Network, for putting us on your thing and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Thank
really
you,
like
Wayne.
being
Thank you,
there.
Wayne, for having us on your network.
Thank you, Wayne. Thank you, Wayne, for having us on your network. It's awesome.
Thank you, Bull City.
Thank you, Guy from All the Flavors, for giving us an account where we can have all of our flavors in one place, even though some of us don't use it, just to piss off Emily. Bull City,
And the judges.
where would we be without you? Where would we be without you? Thank you so much, Bull City and Flavora. Flavora, you're awesome. Thank you, sponsors. If you want to support us in a fun, tasty way, some of us have one-shots in places. Some of us have shirts in other places. Feel free to get that. Some of us even braid and make stands. So yeah, there you go. Bye, guys.